Hello, yeah. So, I know my life is a lot, and every time I try to speak, no matter what I say, it makes people flinch, it pushes people away, but I have to process to heal. When I was young, I was very happy, you know, very outgoing, but I've been silenced or attempted to be silenced by the things that happen in my life. People say, why don't I talk about better things? I try to not talk about my life and move on to better so that I could have better to talk about. Um, and I'm going to get into that. I didn't understand what was going on. I was a child. I don't believe in counselors. I don't believe in therapists. I don't believe everybody needs. I believe the Holy Spirit is our counselor. And I believe when you pray and study, that is all the counseling that you need. Yes, we are supposed to have trusted elders and stuff, but the way that counseling is today, I don't believe in that. And I do my own healing. People are capable to heal on their own. It is completely handicapping people saying that they need counselors. And you handicap yourself when you just put yourself in that position, because then you always need a crutch to get yourself through life. And it's real toxic the way counselors demonize people that won't come to them. So I'm back processing my life, and trigger warning, because my life is a trigger warning. So I was making these videos because I have short-term memory loss, and to recover from short-term memory loss. And in doing so, I began getting gang stalked and threatened by someone on the internet. I don't know exactly who. I believe that I know who, but can't be 100% certain, though I am 99% sure, certain. That aside, back to, I was healing and recovering my whole life. So I was my unsex slave. And I didn't understand that at the time because she made it seem like I didn't really know what sex was. This was I was born into a satanic sex cult, and this has been happening my whole life. I was beaten brutally if I spoke without being spoken to. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm just coming to understand what all of this in the last 2 years. Really just coming to understanding now. So, from piecing my life together and getting a better understanding what's going on, after reporting my aunt and her boyfriend for sexual harassment and sexual abuse, me and my sister were taken to Safe House in Riverside. They did not believe us. At the end, we had a team decision meeting with the police officer, the counselor, and someone else. I was 17 at the time, and I tried to emancipate. They told me that I was an unruly, disrespectful child, and that I was lying, and that there wasn't going to be a court hearing. And they sent me back to my abusers. My aunt, her children, and her boyfriend brutally beat me unconscious. And I just remember one day I was at school and I got picked up from my third or fourth period class by the social worker, and they took us back to foster care. We had court, but the judge didn't bring up anything about the sexual abuse. The only thing he was concerned about was what I was doing after I graduated high school. And he put going to the military in my prom packet. The social worker told us that we were safe now. It would make us look like unruly children if we continued to go to the rest of the court hearings. When I went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, I received the court paperwork saying that the sexual abuse was dismissed on a ponderance of evidence. I'm still piecing my life together. I got with I got with my abandoned husband when I was 17 years old, running from the sexual abuse in my home because my aunt's boyfriend would sneak in my room every night, hold my neck down, and do a lot of other things. And he gave me a time limit of 2 weeks till I had to give it up. I was in speech and debate. I was focused on my grades, on my goals. I was not interested in sex whatsoever. But I had been being physically and sexually abused my entire life. And so I didn't want to be SA'd again. So I started looking for a boyfriend so that I could experience that on my own before I was abused again, which is how I got with my abandoned husband. He promised to protect me and help me learn how to speak because I couldn't really speak, but instead he just started beating me to keep me quiet. I loved this person because I was isolated. My aunt made me stay in the garage. I was her sex slave. I was her abuse post. After the sexual abuse, she would beat me unconscious, brutally beat me unconscious. And so now I had this friend that said that he loved me, and I just poured all of my love out on him, and he just took advantage. I had children with him. And now our parents told him, my mom and his mom told him a man can cheat and beat his wife, and that's what men do as long as they have a job and provide, and told me that my life is over and I had to stay for my children. At that time, my husband had broke our 1-year-old daughter's arm, and her arm was in a cast. But everybody, including the police, CPS, act like it was an accident. He attempted to kill me. Everybody act like I was over exaggerating. We separated, and they told me that I still had to let him see my children. Everyone, the church, everyone. So the first time I let my son go, he never let me see my son again. Me and my daughter attempting to escape the domestic abuse, were gang stalked and kidnapped by Killeen, Texas police. And the CPS worker worked for the IDF. She showed me her badge. And they put my daughter back with her dad. My husband and his mother are physically and sexually abusing our children. My daughter, they don't let me talk to them. I was able to talk to them in November. My daughter told me that their dad ripped my son's ear and beats him in his mouth. My son showed me his bloody mouth, but he tried to tell me that his friend did it. He keeps saying this little white boy named James, but there is no little white boy named James. His dad is beating him. I tried to take my children and get away. I thought that my husband was a good person. I tried to escape my abuse as a child. Thought I got with a man that loved me, and now he is doing the same thing to our children. I've made police reports. Riverside and Moreno Valley and Paris Department are responsible for my human trafficking and my sexual abuse. They're doing this intentionally. Now they're trying to make me look crazy. so that they could put me in a mental ward. For that purpose only, I regret having children and bringing children into this wicked world. Everybody ignored me. Everybody ignores me. It wasn't that bad when it was just me going through the pain. Every single day, my children are going through physical and sexual abuse by their dad and grandmother. Riverside, juvenile court, CPS, trafficked me. So being in this world and unintentionally being a burden, because the only things I have to talk about are things like this. Every time I open my mouth, people say it's too much, and it probably is. I can't feel it because it's all that ever happened to me. I was born into this. The overbearing part for me is that my children are going through it. So everything I do from here on out, and it always has been to get my children, but now zeroing in to get my children because there's nobody that's going to help us. I've made police reports. Hi, holiday season. What are you saying? Not all foster parents are bad. I've had some good ones, but there are a lot of bad ones. No, my children are with predators, which happens to be their dad and grandmother. I just needed to vent because I called a lawyer today and they told me they can't help me. And I try to communicate with people, but no one wants to communicate with me because my whole life is this. My granddad was a Freemason. He sold us as sex slaves to his friends in the United States government. So I was a happy child. All of my life was physical and sexual abuse. I don't have better to talk about. I'm still being gang stalked by the government. And now they have my children in this. If I were to talk about good, I would be imagining it. So thank you, holiday season. Yes, all of that is just my part of my life. My cousins are in this too. My cousins went through it too. We were all sex trafficked to the United States government, not just me. I just tried to break away. They all played into their roles. So my new plan is to get focused, get on my goals, so I go to get my children, my family beat and jump me. So working on my new plan to go get my children because I have custody of my children. I just don't have anyone to go with me and my family keep jumping me. So I'm working on getting back in shape so that I can join the WNBA. And then when I do that, I can afford a lawyer and get my children back. I called a lawyer today. They said they don't handle cases like that. I don't know. I'm really at a loss. I'm really at a loss. But I'm not giving up. I'm not going to stop bringing awareness to what's going on with my children. Been making police reports in the last month. Called a lawyer just today. Calling to get evidence of what's going on and how weird they're acting. I'm short. I'm average. I'm only 5'6.5". But yes, I love sports. My children love sports. My daughter wants to be a professional soccer player, so I gotta chase my dreams. So, when she come out of this, she could still chase her dreams. I'm gonna get my children back. Thank you. Man, life is hard. It's not even, it bothers me. It bothers me that ICE is rounding up children as well. Like, if I had my children, I would still be hurt for the children that are being snatched up. Like, it's a lot going on right now. It's a lot going on in the world right now, and children should not have to be the ones going through this pain. So when I do, I don't know. I don't know. This was just a video to vent because I was feeling feeling kind of locked in, like locked in a box because I'm doing everything to get my children, making reports, trying to negotiate. And it's like, it's just hard. But thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. I'm gonna get off here now and try to like get my mind together. Um, do have a good day. Thank you for being here. Um, yeah. Bye.